All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Moderately Interesting Podcast, episode number 5. My name is Jeffrey.
I'm Angelia.
And this is...
Sharita. Hi.
This is my sister. So, we're having a guest. Our first... Actually, you are our first official guest on this podcast.
Nice.
That's number 1.
Yes.
Yes. So, for this podcast, we are going to be going back into the whole, interracial... dating, and more just dating in general type of topics. We wanted to actually revisit that because we thought it was a good topic, and we said let's revisit it.
Right.
So I don't know. So let's kind of start, I guess, with you. So what is your viewpoints? What do you think about just interracial dating? In general, could be white male, black female, or Asian, just in general. What's your perspective?
In general, for me, I have no problem with it. Honestly, I'm very open-minded to it. Like you said, different scenarios. Male, black female, or white female, black male, or just even outside of just black and white. I feel like, I have no issue with it.
Right. Do you think, have you always felt the same way?
Personally, I feel like gradually. I was never just oh, I hate it. But I felt like over time, I've been more open-minded to it.
Right.
I'm still, I should say, there's nothing wrong with dating within your own race either. So I'm not opposed to that. People say hashtag black love, white love, whatever, whatever the case may be. So I'm not opposed to that at all. But I feel like you said, over time, I'm just more open-minded to interracial relationships because I feel like who wants to box themselves in, Yeah. You know what I mean? And who is the right person for you? That's what I feel like too.
Yeah.
I feel like it's so hard to find somebody that, you know what I mean? It's already hard to find someone, so why?
Yeah, why limit yourself?
Put all these random restrictions that don't really mean anything.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know, because I'm even thinking for myself. When I was younger. I never actually thought about dating someone else, outside of, that wasn't black. I'm trying to think, when, I don't even know, I guess I never really, thought about it, but until, I got older, then I was like, oh, yeah, I guess you could, which is kind of strange to think about. Not
really, though, because, both of your parents are black, so it's just what you saw, because I can probably say the same thing, I never thought about it until, well, for me, it was, a conscious decision, because, I feel like, as a white person, if you're going to date outside of your race, you kind of have to, take a step back and be am I prepared? You know what I mean? To actually put in the work, understand, try to learn.
Right.
So, I feel like I'm coming at it from the opposite side, where, for me, it was a very, conscious decision.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's bad that, I feel like everybody you start off with whatever your parents were. Or, whatever you were exposed to. And then you're oh, wait, things can be different.
Right. And just to piggyback off of what you said, and I'm pretty sure, your parents, and I'm going to just say my parents, even though, that's an example, like you said, that we see our parents with the same race.
Yeah.
But with my parents, they never said, you can't date. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So just to say that, just to let people know. It's not,
it was never.
It was never oh, you can't date outside your race. You have to date. But I think, Angelia is saying, this is what we've seen. Our example. Yeah, so you're you know what I mean?
Ground zero first example of a relationship.
Yeah, so
it's kind of a subconscious thing.
Yeah.
Almost.
Right.
Because it's it's not.
Yeah, it's not
spoken.
It's not intentional. It's just this is what you saw, what you're exposed to.
Right.
I'm trying to think, because but we do have some interracial relations in our family.
Oh yeah, we do.
Our cousins and stuff.
Yeah.
But I guess when we were younger. Yeah, because most of our other family, closer family, no one else really.
Right, our immediate family.
But a distant family though.
Yeah.
They were. Actually,
when you were kids, you mean?
Yeah.
Actually, I'm thinking about that. Yeah, that's when. I think that's when I first started to
You're oh wait, this is.
I know. I'm just oh yeah, there is. Yeah, I don't know, but so like you were saying though, it's more about the actual person. More than the race.
Right. That's how I feel now. I feel like it's really not about the race as much because just to go back, I feel like if you are dating outside your race, that person should know, well, both people, you should know and have a knowledge of the different culture. But also, I feel like it's more about the person. Like, for me, it's more about the guy, the man, his character. You know, is he a good person? His heart, you know? So it's not really just based off his color, his race. It's like, who is he? And that's what I look at. Not so much the physical, you know, attributes. But, of course, I want to be physically attracted to him. Right. Of course. But, yeah. But I feel like you could be attracted to people in all different races. You know what I mean? But for me, it's more about the guy, like I said, his character and who he is. Yeah. If he's a good guy. So, like you said.
For me, I think it's kind of weird when, and I think we touched about this a little bit like last time, but I think it's weird when people are almost like, oh, I'm into like Asian women only, or like I'm into like, weird. You know, like Spanish guys only. Like that's kind of weird to me. Like
that is weird because sometimes,
like, they're real people,
right?
You know what I mean? It's not just like it's like fetishizing. I don't know. It's very strange to me.
Yeah. But I will say on the one coin, or the flip side of the coin, some people, like, you are attracted to what you're attracted to, but, but when you phrase it like that, that doesn't sound very good. It's like, I only want to date, like, it's like...
Yeah, like you'll hear maybe some black guys, like, I only date white women. I don't want to date black women. But have you...
Yeah, I think that's wrong.
That is wrong. I feel like, have you dated all black women? You cannot put us in a group and say each and every one of us act a certain way. You know what I mean? Or, like, Spanish women, like, oh, I like... all Spanish women, you know, we're not all the same. We're individuals. Like, you should get to know the person. Don't just say, I want to just date this certain race. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you know.
All right, here's my thing, though. So what do you think, though? Like, someone who isn't black, like someone, let's say, either like white, Asian, or something like that, if they're dating someone who's black, like, what do you think is like one of the big things that they should know, like, coming into like dating someone else, like, outside of their race? You know what I mean? As in, like, should they, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to think of an example, like, you know, like, kind of like, I'm trying to think of what I'm trying to say here.
I get what you're trying to say. Like what should they?
Yeah, like, coming into it, or even for, like,
what's
you.
One of the things you should be like
aware of. Yeah, or even, like, for you, someone who's like not necessarily white, like, trying to, like, you know, you're dating someone else who's white. Like, is there anything that you think that should be like, oh, you know, like, coming into this, like, this is something that you should be aware of? You know what I mean?
I think certain phrases and cliches people shouldn't just assume. You know what I mean? That's another thing. Like it's all type of you stereotypes. You know what I mean? Yeah. And of course, you're dating somebody, you're not racist or anything like that. But still, you shouldn't have that assumption. Yeah. Like all Asian women, blah 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 blah, and just say it to your partner. Like, I feel like you should definitely go in not saying certain
preconceived notions.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I season my food. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you do.
Or black women don't.
Everyone don't.
Yeah, it's just a lot of different stuff. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Even though it's surprising, though, you don't really like hot sauce, though.
I like spicy stuff, but I don't like the taste of hot sauce.
But all black people don't like, all black brown people, we don't like hot sauce. You know what I mean? I do, but everybody, you know what I mean? Some people don't, so.
Yeah. But, like, but getting back to the whole just normal, like, dating thing, though. Mm-hmm. So, like you were saying that you feel like it should be more of the person. Mm-hmm. So, like, so let's say you're dating someone, like, it doesn't matter necessarily, like, their race at all. How much of their race plays a part in that, like, factor of, like, you being interested in them?
I might call it off topic,
Go ahead. We're just
for me, it's not just the race. Like, I feel like it's the culture. Yes. So for me, and I'm not going to, start rambling on, but religion, their faith, not even just religion, their faith. That's a big one. So I don't care what race, you know what I mean? Be Asian, but if I want to see that compatibility with your faith. That's, like, number one for me.
Yeah.
Then comes, everything else, like you said. I feel like if that's good, the compatibility with our faith and the attributes I said, like, their character,
yeah,
then race is not as big a deal. But
yeah,
I feel like they should understand me as an African American woman.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, so
just don't, you know what I mean? If we have understanding, then hey, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like as someone who isn't black being in a relationship with someone who is black, like, you kind of have to, you have to understand. Like, you can't really understand, but you have to not turn a blind eye to the fact that, like, there are issues and there are things that still aren't right. Like, I feel like, and I'm generalizing, of course, but I feel like a lot of people are just, like, there for, like, whatever reason, but not, like, there to actually, like, understand.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, you definitely have to, like...
Put yourself kind of in the shoes.
Yeah. Not that you can, but...
Right.
I don't know.
But do your best to try to understand.
Yeah.
Right. And be supportive and speak up. Like, you know, for instance, like, if you're in a store and you see, like, your mate who is of a different race getting treated differently based off of their skin complexion, let's say... Sure. They don't know that you guys are together. You both go in different directions, and you see them following your mate, whatever race they may be. And you know what I mean? You should try to, like, speak up and, like...
Hey,
or if they bring it up to you after when you guys get home, don't be like, oh, that's not what it was.
Right. I don't like when people try to brush on the rug.
It's like, no, try...
I'm not saying every single thing is racially, like...
Right, not everything.
That's not always the reason, but you should at least be cognizant that could have been the reason and don't dismiss it.
Right, don't be dismissive.
Even in the fact of, like, certain things, like, you've even told me, like, oh, they treated you differently because you were a woman.
Yeah.
Like, even for me, I have to be, like... You know what I mean? Like, I have to be like, oh, you know what? Maybe that was what that was. You know what I mean? Like, it's not necessarily like it has to be the race. It could just be just
gender.
It's just like something like in any type of relationship, you have to work together and try to understand each other. Like, that's like a big thing.
That's true.
So like, like even what you were saying with that, like, like certain things like I wouldn't see.
Like especially when I worked in like retail management.
Yeah.
Like people
treat you differently.
Yeah, people would absolutely treat me differently. They'd be like, can I talk to the manager?
Yeah.
It's like, well, you are. So.
Yeah. So stuff like that.
Right. Yeah.
But even getting back to what you said with the religion and the culture, I think that is important too.
Yeah.
Because like I remember even like before, like I went on like a couple of days with like this other girl. She was a different religion than me, and I knew that wasn't gonna work out.
Right.
Because.
But you went on the date anyway.
Oh yeah. But that's the thing. I feel like like that's a big factor too. Because I feel like if your faith isn't aligned, it's just gonna make you have to have some.
You gotta have some common. Everything doesn't have to be the same. You know.
I mean, power to you. Like some other people, they can do it.
Yeah, like I think it's definitely possible. Like I know someone whose parents were two like very different religions, and they taught them both, and each of their children picked whichever one they identified with more. Like I think it's another thing that just takes a lot of work, like a lot of extra work.
It's not for everybody, right? I would say I could do it, but like you said, some people could do it. You know,
I couldn't do it. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. But like, but it's definitely like much more of like the whole cultural thing, and that's the thing. Cultural isn't necessarily just like race. I think it also plays in a factor of like class as well.
True.
Like,
upbringing.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like some
you can be in the same race and people are raised differently. You know what I mean? It's completely different. You could be definitely the same race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think even what we talked about before, like saying like how like it is. Or, I'm not sure when we talked about it, but we said like how we both of us, we still have like both of our parents. Yeah. And we like that's even kind of
which
like
is
a
like
rare...
a big that our parents are both still together.
Yeah, and I think that has played into the fact of like just like the way that we interact too. Like even if it's like subconsciously, just like like we grew up with both our parents in the house. Not saying that people who didn't like they can't, but it's
right. You know, no, it's just a thing in common.
Yeah, of just like like your parents did this. Like my parents did this. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter necessarily. Yeah, they're two different races, group, different places, but it's still like we have that kind of common ground.
Right. And it's still, I want to say, it's nothing wrong with differences because you learn. It's still fun. It's fun. If you're different, like whether you're a different race or you're in the same race and you got different, hobbies and passions and you know what I mean? It's nice to, get to know your partner with the differences. Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, like you said, just teamwork and getting along with each other.
Yeah.
What is it? Agree to disagree. Like, hey, yeah.
Yeah.
not fun sometimes when you got everything in common. You agree,
Yeah.
and you agree on everything. It's like
some people are exactly like two people that are together are like exactly the same.
Right.
Even just like down to their whole personality. It's
know.
like they just butt heads constantly.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah.
But even like I was thinking though, because like like growing up for me, I've had friends of multiple races. Like
Right.
like architecture. Like it's kind of a lot of my like closest friends. They are actually of different races.
But I think that has to do with the high school you went to.
Yeah.
Because didn't you say you were like one of
like,
maybe 3 minority students?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, but
I have a friend, one of my best friends. She's white.
Yeah.
She's cool.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You know what I mean? And even like when I was talking to our dad about like literally this podcast, like he was actually saying like for him, like when they grew up, like they grew up with like different like people of different races. Like he was saying like this is way back like in the day, like much earlier on. But he was saying like even then, like they were raised like with people with different races, and like he was saying he used to go over like his friend's house and they used to like make food and like
I remember grandma saying that like their street, it was more diverse back then in Buffalo. It was very diverse and they had all different
and then he was
cultures
saying,
and
he was saying like it wasn't that big of a deal. Like people they just like they would go over each other's houses and like just kind of hang out and like just kind of be over there, which I think and that's kind of cool, especially like back then.
Right.
Yeah, probably when it was a lot more common for things to be like not that chill.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But like kind of in the same vein, like when my dad was growing up, he's told me, and my grandma has told me, that she was like the one who was like, everyone come over, just hang out, like that was her thing. And my dad was also in the military, and he said when he was in the military, like that was a big thing too, because like the people next to you, no matter what they look like you're taking care of each other, like keeping each other alive and stuff.
Yeah.
Right. He said that was like big for him.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So like, I don't know, but like, just getting back to the whole dating thing though.
Yeah, I was gonna say Angelia. Yeah, I swear I was gonna just say that. How you said it's kind of it's a lot now.
Yeah,
it is.
Dating is hard, just in general. Like finding someone that you even want to like spend time with.
As an
adult,
like as an adult, like before we were together, for me it was just always like, do I want to deal with someone's bullshit right now? Not really.
Yeah.
Like
pretty much.
That's why I was single for like a year before we got together, because I was like, I just don't care. Like I don't want to do the whole like texting them and trying to be funny and like going out and always looking like perfect. It's like I just don't want to deal with it.
Yeah. I'm not going to get personal, but but I definitely understand, because I'm in that whole, But I'm definitely for commitment, and I'm for marriage. I'm for, stuff like that. But it is a lot to lead up to that. You know what I mean? I feel like it's a lot of work, and you want the right person. And I have children, you know. So for me, I feel like it's even more crucial that it's the right person. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
With that though, do you think would it be harder? Like, let's say if you were to like marry, or whatever, with someone who was of a different race, do you think it would be strange?
For my children?
Yeah.
It might.
At first?
It might be at first. I think so.
But after growing up, they wouldn't be?
No, they're both very smart. But they are both my children. But I was going to say with Joelle, she's only 2. She's about to be 3. She's very smart though. Like I feel like she might pick up, but my son, I think he would ask questions. He's a great kid. He's lively. He's very smart. He picks up on stuff. Like he asks me questions, and he's a little boy, so he.
Did he say anything about you or no?
What?
No.
Oh yeah, has
he never actually said anything about Angelia.
No.
That's true.
I wonder when how old all of them will be when they're like, oh,
oh yeah,
she's white.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Okay, I don't know. But I think it's a difference if, like you said, if somebody living in our house.
It's gonna be like,
because first of all, they're gonna be like, who is this? And I'll make the disclaimer: I would not be having anybody live in the house with me until I'm married.
Well, yes, that would be a big jump.
So I think by then,
But I think, I don't know. They don't. I don't know. I think they would ask questions.
Yeah.
Because I don't say anything negative about anybody else. You know what I mean? So it's not like I don't want to assume other people's households, but it is some people's households now that might actually say stuff to their kids at a young age.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't say like these people or this group of people. So my kids are not exposed to anything like that.
Yeah.
So I think it would just be questions like who is this?
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing that I was thinking about too, because we were saying like for us, like, do you think like it would? I don't think it would be weird like when we have kids, like with like everyone, like all the other kids, you know what I mean?
No, I don't.
I've really wondered about that too. Like, I wonder if they're gonna.
I don't think so.
I read articles that kids that are mixed of different races, not just African American and Caucasian, they try to see who they identify with. So I think maybe that might be an issue. They be like, what do I identify as? You know what I'm saying?
Can I say this though?
Sure.
If we have kids, I'm gonna tell them they're black.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'm like, look, I'm sorry.
Ain't nothing to be sorry about, but I know.
I'm gonna break it to you.
I definitely wouldn't be
you're
like,
black.
oh yeah, you're white, because
it's like,
you're not going to be able to like walk through life as a white person.
Yeah, they're
with
like,
privilege. They're going to have darker
no, you're
skin.
brown. No, yeah, you're black.
You're brown. Yeah, we're brown people.
Yeah. But even we thought about this too, like, because we don't know, like, what if we were to adopt someone of a different race? You think that'd be weird? Like, just not even of our own race?
Nope.
You know what I mean? I feel like, I don't know.
I feel same thing. Research. Not saying you, but like
Right,
people who adopt people of different
definitely.
races, they definitely need to do research and make sure, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. How to care and culture.
Just be sensitive to like the struggles of that particular.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even like, not getting particular, but like one of my friends who was adopted by his parents, he's of a different race from them. Like growing up, he went to like a culture camp of other people of his race.
Oh, that's cool.
So to try to like still like to be around other people, like he did that a couple summers and stuff like that.
That's actually pretty thoughtful of the parents and very, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, it's just very sensitive.
Yeah, because you know there is something to that. Like, you know, you still want to see like your own people, like even if you are being raised by someone else.
Because I don't care like how chill your friends are, how like woke your friends are, whatever. Like, you're not gonna feel the same in a room with some, like if you're in a room of all people who are a different race than you.
Yeah.
Especially when you're a kid. Like in his instance. Because when you're a kid, I feel like there's not a huge population of his race around here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he was probably would have felt very alienated otherwise.
Yeah.
I can't, obviously I have no idea.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we're all speculating here. We don't know. But but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I did think about that though. The whole, but I feel like kids are great because of.
They're just like, okay, this is life now.
You know, but I feel like kids are just so honest because like they don't, you know what I mean? Like especially when they're young, they don't really know like, you know, how to like act. They just kind of like they'll just ask you. They'll be like, oh yeah, how come this is like, you know what I mean? Like
like I don't know what I would say if like one of your kids came up to me and was like, how come you look different than us? I'd be like,
they don't.
Shit, I don't know. Like
they don't think about that. And
even I was gonna say, you don't.
Yeah, I went to school. Like my elementary school is a good school, and it was very multicultural.
Yeah.
So I had friends, actually a couple of my best friends when I was little were of a different race.
Yeah.
You remember them? You were younger. Well, yeah.
I
don't want to drop names. But I had a few like literally like all the way up until like third grade.
Yeah.
Like that's why I went over their houses, and I remember my mom and the one girl, her mom, we used to go to the movies and stuff together. And she was of a completely different race. And
just I mean, like it wasn't like it. Yeah, it wasn't like a big deal. I feel like people you grow up and you kind of. Just I mean, like kids though, like if you're around other people, like you will never like it won't. It's not an issue to them.
Yeah, I feel like it's a bigger issue for people who come from communities that are mostly one race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Buffalo's pretty diverse, so I feel like it's not a huge issue here as much as it would be in other places like where my parents live.
Yeah, I'd go out and just like, oh, there's like no one else.
Yeah.
It's just that. Then it becomes like a dish. But like even but like I feel like people like it is kind of true, like you have like no one is born like racist or like, you know what I mean?
No.
It's like
it's learned. It's a learned
behavior.
A horrible behavior that's learned.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
But dating, I
know.
Back to just regular dating.
But dating though, I mean, I don't know.
You got dating tips for the people?
I don't know.
No.
Wait, but actually, no, not really. No, actually, but the one thing I do want to ask you though. So what? Okay, so like, what are the things that you were looking for?
I don't want to get personal.
Well, you don't make it personal, but I'm just like we're generalizing things here. I'm gonna have someone else's perspective because, like, I know my perspective. No, I don't guess I don't know what kind of.
What are the qualities?
Yeah, like what are the general qualities? Like, it doesn't matter the race, just like whoever.
For a man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the man that. For a man, the quality that I think that is good in a man, for me to date, honesty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
it's
definitely
good.
a big one.
It is. I mean, I don't want to say it's unrealistic, but I feel like I'm not one of those people that have like a checklist either. Like, you know what I mean? A whole bunch of things.
No one's perfect.
But I do have a certain standard. You know what I mean? And not saying I didn't before, but I just feel like when you have children too, it does.
It doesn't
It's
just
life.
affect you.
So it
changes.
definitely changes. But I think like the general things, honesty is good. Once you establish you're together, loyalty, you know.
Yes.
I feel like integrity, even though I mean those are big ones, but I don't care. I feel like that's still something that every human should have. Respect.
Yeah.
Is good. Thoughtfulness.
Mm-hmm.
And sensitive. Not like I don't care if a guy is sensitive, but you know what I mean? Like whatever. Not like superly overly like crying, but like sensitive to me and
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
not like I'm not
jerk.
going to show my feelings because I'm a guy.
Right, or like if my feelings is hurt, don't be like, oh, you're just whining, or you know what I mean? Like actually try to see, like not a
be
jerk.
like, okay, why are you hurt?
Right.
Yeah.
So emotionally aware.
Yeah.
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 Which I feel like a lot of people. Well, I don't want to speak for everyone, but there's a lot of people who just aren't. I mean, I might be too.
Emotionally aware. They just can't read a fucking room.
Somebody have goals. That's always good.
Yeah.
Whether big or small, that means they're trying.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's good.
Why? What are your?
What do you mean?
What are you looking for in a woman?
I mean, I already found one, but I don't know. I'm trying to think, but like, we're not getting into emotion. I'm trying to think. I don't know. Like, I don't know. That's actually a very good question.
Right? You haven't thought about it in a while.
I don't know. Like, I haven't thought about it. I mean, I don't know. I guess someone who's like down for doing this type of stuff. You know what I mean? We're sitting here in our living room, like with cameras pointing at us and stuff like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Fun is good. I'll add on.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
Somebody that's fun. Because I'm not a kid, but I can be a kid sometimes.
Yeah.
But you know, and serious at times. You know, when to know how to be serious, when to have fun.
Yes.
You definitely need that. Responsible.
Yes. To know.
There's nothing that gets me more than someone who doesn't know when to be serious. It's like, can you stop?
Right. Be responsible. And I know I come off sometimes like, oh, just, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm actually silly in real life, but I need a
because
guy to bring it out.
Yeah,
well, no, I can bring it out myself, but you know what I mean? Like,
who's
Somebody
willing
that
to
you can, like, play off of.
Yeah. If he's giving me like those serious vibes too, like I'm like, oh,
just like,
okay, settle down.
Right.
It's like everything.
I don't want to let out my whole silly and
we want
to be comfortable around the person.
Yeah, we want to have some fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like like no matter what, like even like people that you still are the same person. You know what I mean? Like, so everyone is still like a kid at heart. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like when you grow up.
Yeah.
I don't know, because even like I'm not to get too like personable,
right?
But even like I feel like I really like how like your parents like I feel like they're still like
they still like play with each other.
Yeah. I mean, and our parents do that too.
Yeah, they
like
do.
mom and dad. Yeah, they do.
My mom,
I know they
she'll tell my dad a joke, and they be laughing, and they
do that a lot.
That's fun. I think that's cute. That's cool.
I feel like that's cool. Important. Like life is really serious, and if
it is,
you can't like let loose with your partner, like who can you let loose?
Right.
With?
Yeah. And like so it doesn't like so basically it doesn't really matter like the race when it comes down to it. It's all about just like the person. You know what I mean? And like, you know, just how you are.
Right.
I don't know. What about you though? What are you looking for? Is there anything that just like annoys you though?
People who don't know when to be serious.
Be serious,
like, you need to settle down.
I don't like when people say they're going to do something and don't do it.
Yes, oh my God. Like,
I understand life happens. Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand life happens because that, you know what I mean? That happened with me and I feel bad and I apologize. Like if I have a friend or somebody and I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go here and then I can't because something comes up. But it's like somebody promised, like, you know what? We're going to do this. We planned for this.
If you, like, make it a habit.
Yeah.
Like
blow you off.
I
think that's I don't like.
Or like people who, if they like can't do something for some reason, they just like they won't own up to it. Like, just tell me you can't come somewhere because you're busy or because you don't feel like it.
Yeah,
right. I think that is like a thing that is what is it, like a process because I used to try to do a lot, but now you gotta know your limits though too.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't.
Nobody really likes to say no unless some people do. Like, no, heck no, I'm not doing it.
That's you.
But that is Raymond will tell you straight. He'll be like, no, I can't.
He'll be like, nope, sorry.
He's like, no, I can't. But I feel like that's also getting to know yourself and knowing your limits.
Yeah.
But it's also playing. Like, don't promise like, oh, I'll do that, and purposely. That's what I'm saying. Like. I understand, like, stuff comes up, but somebody purposely like, oh, yeah, I'll do it, I'll plan. And then they're just like, no. Just to be malicious. Like, that's mean.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but that's definitely you, though. Like, oh, nope, not doing that. No.
Yeah. Well, because sometimes you gotta just be like, I just can't. You know what I mean? I just can't do it. That's just...
No, that's understandable.
Yeah, that's definitely
something. But it's not you're saying, oh, I'm coming... Or like dating wise, if you're like, okay, Angelia, this Friday we're gonna go. I'm taking out to dinner, get dressed, put the makeup on, and then you'd be like, no, or you blow her off. I mean, you guys live together, but if you didn't live together, you don't text her back. Right. I don't like stuff like that.
Oh no,
Don't get me started on that.
Someone does that to me once, never talk.
Yeah,
to her again.
I don't like
delete,
stuff like
block,
that.
gone.
That's such a Scorpio trait. You're such a textbook Scorpio.
Well,
I hate it.
No, someone does that to me. No,
you'd be like, no, I'm gonna hold this grudge for the rest of my life. I hate you
ever again. Well, that's how it is.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's something.
But yeah, I don't know, but like the main big thing though, like. What we're saying, just dating in general, no matter what, is always like, it's hard. It's a process. I feel like the racial thing is just another element to it, but it's not the biggest element to it. I mean, it is an element, but it's not like the biggest thing in the world. Yeah, because I remember what we were saying before of how like class and like culture and like just being. Like,
I feel like class is a huge one though. I think class. Might almost be like bigger than race. That's just my opinion, but like if you're with someone who's super rich and they just don't understand. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they just like they're like, oh, this is broken, I'm gonna throw it out, or like, oh, what's this? I'm just gonna get rid of it.
I never dated somebody to that level.
Yeah.
Just can I say, because remember my one ex, without naming names, their family was like really rich.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And like. I remember when I first went over their house.
Like, what?
Yeah, you told me you had to drive into a...
Yeah, it was like a whole... I was like, whoa! And like, granted, I mean, like, my friends from high school, like, a lot of them were, like, you know, well off. Like, their families were, like, well off. But, like, this was like, oh, you guys are, like, really, really well off. Because I was just like...
But did she... act snooty and...
In certain regards, yes. But other things, no. But it was definitely like, oh, okay, this is like
a difference. You could tell the difference.
Yeah.
Like, well, we know the difference, but I'm saying it was like a different, like you said, class. Like
like I was like, oh, okay, these like they bought her, a brand new car. I mean, like, well, I guess
well,
no, like
I was saying my parents bought me a car, a brand new car before when I was younger. So
I know I was just like, well, I guess that's
when I was in college.
Yeah,
but a while ago.
Okay, but they bought her and her brother a brand new car.
And you said, like, her brother went to, like, one of the most expensive schools in New York State.
Yeah, they went to New York City. Yeah, and, like, her parents paid, like, all her college. Which I'm like, I mean, like, like I'm not hating on them because I'm like power to you.
Right. It's nothing wrong.
But it was definitely
like
it was
dynamic.
Yeah, it was definitely like, oh, okay, you guys are like really well off.
Right.
And it was like, oh, okay. I feel like things like between us, it wasn't. I'm trying to think. There were certain things where I was just like, this is different. Like I'm not saying like because our parents they did well,
right.
but like not I just wasn't like that like well. I was like, wow.
Right. No, but I feel like your guys' parents are definitely like monetarily definitely.
Let's not talk about people. Let's not talk about income because we don't want people thinking people got money because we don't.
I don't know. I'm talking about Disney trips.
Oh yeah.
All these trips, and I'm like,
everybody is working.
Yeah.
So nobody is rich right now.
Right, but yeah,
we're all working people.
But that is the thing though too. Yeah, like how some people like they're going on like trips to like Europe.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, like we were saying. Yeah, now that's extravagant.
Yeah,
take your kids abroad and stuff like them type of trips.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like
that's a different.
Like I've been to Italy, but it was to meet my grandpa when he was sick. Like not just like, oh, this is what we do every summer.
Right, and that's the different. Like like you said in dating, somebody can be like, oh yeah, we go to Europe every summer.
Yeah, you're just like
whatever. You're gonna say
like,
right. That's the difference. And then you're like,
I gotta see if I can get off of work.
Right, like I have a job.
Yeah, some people they're just like, yeah, let's just drop everything and go.
And just go
for like 2 weeks. You're just like, I got a job.
That would be nice.
Yeah,
right.
So like that type of dynamic, I feel like is
that is different.
Like that would be kind of hard to like. Meld that together.
That is.
But I definitely feel like we're in a different class than each other.
Why? What do you mean?
Like,
not that much, because our parents and your parents, they're still working. You know what I mean? They're still working. I would say blue collar. I don't know. Like middle class, still middle class. Yeah, blue collar. Working people.
But I don't know. Yeah, but I do think though that is just another barrier you have to get over. But it's not like you can make it work. You know what I mean? Like inside anything.
I would say
you can make it work.
It might take like extra, like work.
How much do you want it?
Yeah, more conversations that might be uncomfortable, but like
but
it's doable.
Yeah,
it's definitely doable.
And I have a question. So, do you guys think? Does it lie on one gender? Should the guy be working harder or the woman or both?
Both, for sure. Absolutely, 100%.
What about in the beginning, the initial
what do you mean?
Dating? Like,
and just dating?
Whether you're dating interracially or just within your own race, whatever.
You mean who's putting in the most effort? Towards what?
Towards trying to see if you want to date or...
Definitely both people. Like, I'm not going to
play so you're not the one
game.
No, not sexist. No. I'm just saying, like, do you feel like, I need, like, from your perspective, like, the man needs to pursue, or you're like, the woman needs to pursue, or you both meet each other in the middle?
I think it's definitely meeting each other in the middle.
Really?
Because, like, I feel like a guy's going to lose interest if you're not pursuing him, but, like, a girl's also going to lose interest if you're not pursuing her, so, like... If you're not both, like, making an effort to make the person feel like you're thinking about them, then...
True, but you don't... Okay.
I know.
I'm old-fashioned. I'm old-fashioned. It's not a bad thing. It's just who I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not in everything, but I'm just old-fashioned with some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the man should be the pursuer. And the initiator.
I feel like guys out and stuff. Like,
no, you say you don't.
I do.
Oh, see, I don't. No, I don't like to.
I think if someone...
I'm more like if he asks me out, if I'm interested, I'm gonna let him know. Like, I'll go. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or if he wanted, like, I'm that.
But I feel like that's so
it's so
personally, no. I personally feel like that's unfair because like you've probably asked out like a bunch of girls, right? And it's like very uncomfortable. It's like if you're not willing to also be uncomfortable trying to do that.
I have suggested stuff. Not necessarily like meet me this day. Yeah. I have and I wasn't comfortable. Cuz like I said, I'm trying to be more open-minded. I was the one before, like, previously, whatever. Be like, if you want to hang out, if you want to do this, like, suggest it and then see if he's like, okay, yeah. Then I'm like, okay, that's cool. Like that type of thing.
Right.
I'm
all right. My train of thought is I like that idea. I feel like most cases, if a female is interested in you as a male, they're going to give you some clues they're interested in you. You know what I mean? Like give you some clues. I feel like it's the guy, you should be able to pick up on that and then take some initiative on it. Be like, oh, she's interested. You know what I mean? Like this is what I mean. Like if someone's interested in you, they're gonna either like look at you or like
smile
or something like that.
Something.
Yes, but like you know what I mean. Like not necessarily everyone's smiling at you. They like you because no, that's not the case. But like if someone really is interested in you, I feel like they're gonna give you some type of visual cues.
I had no idea you were interested in me.
You did tell me that.
No idea.
I don't know
really?
how.
At all.
What did you do then, Brent, to let her know? Did you have to say it? You didn't smile? You didn't say it?
He asked me out on a date.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, wait, for real?
I know. I was like, yeah.
Like I was not getting that vibe at all.
That's so weird. I don't know how though.
I don't know.
But even like for example, with you, we worked together, so I was very careful.
Yeah,
I was just like,
I was like,
I don't know, this could go bad.
Right?
This could go bad real fast. So I'm not
coworkers, right? Because then you'll mess up where you work at and make it awkward.
Yeah.
That happened in the past. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
oh my goodness.
But I feel like, but it was
a pass.
It was more. I knew that you liked me though. That's what I mean. Like
obviously I was giving out stronger signals.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I knew that you liked me, and that's what I mean. I feel like you should be able to pick up on those cues, and then act upon it.
Well, I wasn't picking up.
Oh.
So sorry.
Well, but that's what I feel like you should be able to do. And then like I feel like though, but like like the like woman, she can also like give out. That's what I mean. It's the same type of pattern of like giving out the like if you want to go out on a date, like the girl, she can be like either like reach out to him, like talk to him, and then the guy should be able to pick up on that, like, oh, you want to do you want to like let's go here this date this time, like make a date.
I've like overtly been like, hey, you want to go on a date? Like
you could. No, but I think but if someone else does that, I think that is like, oh, okay, so she's interested.
So
like,
for a guy perspective, would you rather a woman? Well, I know you guys
are you intimidated by a woman that would ask you out?
No.
No.
Really?
Does it make her more or less attractive to you?
It just makes it for me. I'm like, oh, okay, so it would make me definitely in my mind be like, oh, okay, so she's much more, like she's interested. So like then it would make me feel like, oh, let me see like what's this about? Like she's if she's interested in me like this strongly, well, let me actually try to like figure out like like why. And like you know what I mean? Like I feel like that would just make
me?
Well, no, but that
or would it make your head blow up and then you blow her off? Oh yeah, she's interested.
See,
I'm gonna make her now continue to.
That depends. See, that's it.
I don't like games. I feel like we're adults. Like games are just it's played out. It really is.
Yeah.
It is.
That's my thing, but I feel like for me, I'm much more like. But I'm more progressive. I'm not about that whole like this girl asked me that.
Hold the door for me as I get in the car. Like I have arms.
I still like that.
I mean, it's cool once in a while, but I'm not expecting it, and I don't think it's bad if it doesn't happen.
I don't say I'm expecting it. I think with my body language, I'm more like thinking like, oh, is he gonna get the door? And if he does, I'm like A+.
But also, like, for us, we've been together for so long, like that shit dissolves. Yeah. But you still get the door for me sometimes. Yeah. But I also get the door for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just.
Yeah, I mean, that's a courteous thing.
Yeah. Oh, I will hold, like, if he opens the door for me, I'll hold it open.
Yeah.
Like, keep it open.
Well, I would hope. I mean, dang.
Don't let it smash in his face.
Touch doors?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We could do a whole podcast.
Right, just the gender and just whatever. Just women, men, and whatever. But
I don't know.
But cool.
Yeah, let's kind of wrap this one up. But do we have any closing thoughts though? Like going in like the whole just interracial dating. Do you think like what's your like if you had to give like your final like.
Wait, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
So like, if you were gonna go on a date with like a white guy versus like a black guy, would you? Is there anything like? How do I ask this? Is there anything like different? Like, would you feel like you had to either like act different or dress different or like just like mentally prepare for the conversation differently?
Honestly, nope. I'm still who I am.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk the same,
Yeah.
and I talk the same. I don't care what people think, but this is how I talk for the rest of my, I always talk. So I talk the same. I'm usually nervous on dates, whatever. Like that's just me. It's just who I am. I get nervous on the first like outing or date with a guy, so I'll be nervous probably with both of them. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would dress the same.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I would dress the same. I honestly don't think it's nothing different I would do.
Some people might hype themselves up differently though.
Really? You think?
I mean, I don't think it's right, but
yeah.
You'd be okay,
yeah.
You think
I feel like
people do that?
I don't like feeling like.
I don't.
I'm
like this is what you get.
I'm not gonna
take it or leave it. I don't care.
That's why I said I honestly wouldn't do anything different. I would hope we talk beforehand and, so we can kind of talk about things that they want. But like I said, I'm nervous, so I'll probably quiet, more observant and try to see what he's saying.
Right.
And try to pick up on his vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Regardless of the race. I'd be like, just
like who this person is.
But then once if it progresses, it's going to be, more carefree.
Well, let me ask you this then. So then, okay, let's say you are meeting someone. Like you're dating, you've been together for a while. They're of a different race. Now you're going to meet their family. How do you feel?
Yeah. Now, of a different race?
Yeah, of a different race. How do you feel?
I would be kind of nervous.
Yes.
Not that I'm not confident, but I would just be a little... I don't say nervous. I would be a little bit...
But meeting anyone's parents is kind of...
Yeah, right. It's a little...
But I feel like there's an extra layer of okay, well, I know this person is
cool.
Not any type of way, but is...
How about their
family?
Right, but
just
I would ask them beforehand.
Yeah.
And I'll just say this, I don't know how much time we have left.
We got some. I
actually dated somebody, this was years ago.
Yeah.
He was of a different race, and when I mean dated, we actually went on dates. We weren't in a relationship, but we were dating at the time.
Yeah.
He was really nice, and we went out, and then we're gonna go one day. We were supposed to go somewhere else. He wanted to take me somewhere, like a bar or something like that. Back then, whatever. But then he caught himself, and he was just like, you know what? He's like, I would take you, but honestly, the neighborhood, he was like, I don't want to put you in any type of bad position, because I guess people in that, and I'm not going to throw any race under, you know what I mean? I forgot what area it was.
He was like,
but he was saying this area is more predominantly not African American. Yeah. So he was like, I don't want people to make you uncomfortable. And that, to me, was, really thoughtful and really nice. He was like, I don't want to bring you in that atmosphere.
You're not acting like everything's cool. You're not trying to brush it under the rug.
Yeah, he was just like, I wanted to, and we wanted to go somewhere else. But he was like, I don't want to bring you somewhere and people make you uncomfortable or, rude to you. Because he was, you know what I mean? And I appreciated that.
Yeah.
But what were we talking about? The family?
Yeah. Well, can I say this just really quickly? But even with that train of thought, though, certain, I wouldn't, bring you in, you know what I mean, into
certain places.
Yeah, I don't know, the hair salon, or, you know what I mean, you know what I mean. Right. Certain things, I would just be like, you know what,
that's
maybe I wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
kind of inappropriate. That's a very
you know what I mean,
cultural, that's a sacred thing.
Or but you'd be surprised. It's different races. I actually think.
No, I mean, I'm trying to think, or a barbershop. You know what I mean? I wouldn't certain places. I'll be like, you know what, I'll go by myself. You know what I mean? Right. I wouldn't want to. You know what I mean? So I understand that. Certain things, it's just you'll be like, you know what, it might be weird. Not even weird, but or just if you can avoid a situation, just avoid it.
See, for me, And this, listen, let me explain the whole thing before you guys judge. But for me, I'd be like, fuck it, let's go. Like, I'm not gonna not bring you somewhere. But I would be a lot more outspoken. Like, do you have a fucking problem? Like,
but true. But I feel like that's like, good in a way, but it could be bad because you don't want to bring.
But that's somebody also a thing that, like, kind of only white people can do.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I can act a certain way because I'm white. You know what I mean?
I get it.
And not be like a...
Yeah.
So, like, I get that that's a product of who I am, but...
Yeah. But you don't bring him in, like, Hitchtown.
Like,
a whole bunch of people with pitchforks. You'd be like... No. But to say about...
the family.
The family. I mentioned that instance with that guy because I liked how he, let me know ahead of time. So, if I was dating somebody outside of my race and I was meeting their family... I would ask them the same thing, like, is it okay? Like, I want to brace myself. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would be a little nervous, and I would ask him first before I even go. Because I'm like, I don't want to go. I'm not going to go anywhere that's making me uncomfortable.
How you asked me to show, like, my parents what you looked like.
Yes. I was very much, very much like, show a picture.
Like, can you, like...
That's what a lot of things. Not just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, people need the news.
Get it quick.
You know what I mean? Before it's just like a shock, like not just a shock, but you know what I mean? Like, it's like somebody said, "I'm pregnant." Like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta have a way to say it, a little finesse. You gotta be a little bit,
Yeah, at least
you don't want to just
get them warmed up to the situation first.
Yeah, to get them warmed up. So that's what I would do. I would be still nervous. Yeah. Rather, I'm dating within my own race or outside of my race to meet the family, but the only difference I would ask, the guy that's outside of my race is his family. Have he mentioned or made known? Yeah. And because I don't want to come in on anybody having a reaction.
Yeah, because that's just
like... Because then you're in somebody else's house.
It was like, I don't want to be here. I'm about to go.
Yeah. I'm not tolerating it.
Yeah.
Nope. So.
Because I definitely was more nervous to meet your parents. But we talked about
I kind of picked up on that too. Angela was. She was just like, hey, what's up? Playing on the couch.
I know.
It's cool. But before she was like,
But for me, it was, and I know I mentioned this in the last episode, but for me, it was more that, like, your family's super religious and mine's not. And I was like, great. Like, so I'm white and, like, I don't fuck with church. So, like, now what? You know what I mean? I was like, shit, they're going to hate me.
Yeah. But yeah. But we talked about this in the last podcast. Like, I feel like I wasn't, because, like, it wasn't like I like the racial thing with, like, mom and dad. I figured that wasn't like an issue at this point because I'm just like already dated, like, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really think it was that big of a deal. But like we said in the last podcast, when I met her parents, I was nervous at first, but that was more of like I wanted her parents to like me too. But also I was just kind of like, also I'm like a 6'6" something tall, like, black dude. Like, do they know what I look like? Because you know what I mean. Just
right. You don't want people.
Don't be thrown off guard. Like, whoa, like, look who's coming home. You know what I mean? Like, have some type of context of like who you're dating. But even like your extended family though too. Like, just like, do they know?
My whole family loves you.
Well, that's good.
But see, that's another good, like we said before, to know if you're dating somebody's culture, how, you got to know it. Because you don't want to be, let's say, well, for the family, I don't know, let's say a family that meets somebody of a different race, be like, oh, hey, and try to use the slang or for whatever race. You know what I'm saying? I feel like...
Just like...
Like, a really good example was in Get Out when the dad was like, of the girl was like, I would have voted for Obama a third term if I
know,
could.
just...
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I know, just like...
Just
like... Thanks, I think.
Like, I don't know what that has to do with me.
I know.
But okay.
Yeah.
So,
I know. Yeah.
It's good to know.
Yeah, like certain things.
Yeah.
That movie.
Yeah. Great movie, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I was scared. A little bit.
But yeah, though. But before we leave, really quickly, I do want to mention this is your book that is here in front of us right here. Can you tell me just like a quick what's about your book? Baby Joe's Adventures, a children's book. Yep, it's
I think it's a good book, and it goes over color recognition with the children. I think it's a good read with your kids, you know, something to do. And it's just good reading.
Yeah, and we also have a quick, like, we filmed another video, which is like a quick like interview talking about the book. So you can check that video out. That'll be linked down below.
Yes.
But where can we find the book? Where can we find you? What's your social media handle? I'm gonna have it up. I'm gonna have it up on the screen as well. Or if not, if you don't know it offhand, I shouldn't know it.
But you could definitely find the book on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles, and then also in about a couple weeks, it will be available in ebooks, which is great. And then my social media, I have Instagram, like a business page, and I should know it by heart. I believe it's under. You gotta post it.
Yeah, it's on the screen. It's down below. Check that out.
Yeah.
You do a lot of interesting, cool stuff. So
Thanks.
You can check that out. You can find me, YouTube, OmegaGreed, Instagram, OmegaGreed. You can find you,
pandacoww with 2 W's. Pretty much on everything.
Yeah, that works. Once again, so this has been episode number 5.
And I want to say thank you both for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
Guest. This is cool. We're gonna do more. This
Very fun.
This has been fun.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So thank you so much for watching this video. We will see you in the next one, and goodbye.
See you later, guys.